Long time no see. What's going on, guys? GT iamthetie coming at you with another narrated Wi-Fi battle today. I'm going to call this user Mako Reactor. He didn't want to have his link in the description, but I think he's a really good battler. So obviously, if you know who he is and you recognize his name, go check out his channel and sub to him. He's really cool. But anyway, OU match here today. He wanted to test out a serious team, so I kind of busted out mine. Hopefully, you guys don't mind too much. But I got a Crobat out here against a Swampert. I kind of think he's a standard pert. Unless he's a CB pert, he's not going to one-hit KO me. So he goes for the Avalanche. I'm looking at the damage, and I think that confirms that he's a standard pert in my mind. Obviously, not doing all too much damage. I could potentially roost on that turn, but I'm going to go ahead and U-turn out into Vaporeon, mainly because I want to hit him for his weaker defensive stat. And I could potentially go for the Surf, but I don't know if he's got someone to absorb the water, and I can definitely get a Wish Up, see what he wants to pass out into, so I can get my counter for that one in safely, because that's kind of what you do at Vaporeon, right? So Bubbles is out here, he's gonna go for a Wish. He sends in a Lucario, and that really sucks. I didn't actually expect a Lucario to come out, so because the Wish is in the air, I know the Swords Dance is coming, so free turn to go for the Surf, but obviously at +2, an Adamant Lucario with a Life Orb is probably going to wreck Vaporeon, so I need to have someone take it close combat. Nosferatu quad resisted, so I'm going to go into that for predicting the close combat. It does come my way. I take it pretty decently considering it's a freaking Lucario, and now I need someone to take more hits because obviously I need to wear him down with Life Orb Recoil. So I'm going to go into Scizor. I'm expecting the extreme speed, and that's exactly what he goes for. So all of a sudden, I think he can only take one more hit. I can potentially kill him with a Bullet Punch, and I don't want to over-predict and let him kill me with the close combat as I go for a U-turn. So I'm going to lock myself into Bullet Punch, even though I know he has a pert. So he makes a nice switch in that scenario. I didn't want to over-predict and lose a guy right there. So I have to go back into Crobat now, predicting the rocks, obviously, and I don't know if the Roost is very obvious in this scenario, but apparently it's very obvious to him. So I'm going to go for the Roost, and he's going to go for the Earthquake, and that is an amazing prediction on his part. He might be a wizard, I don't know, but he's going to go for the Earthquake, even though I didn't reveal that move at all. I guess he runs into way too many Crobats, so that's going to take out Crobat right off the bat. He got the early lead. He's making a lot of very good predictions. Obviously, I got his Lucario down to really low health, but if he has a Wish Passer, I'm in a lot of trouble. So I'm going to go into my Scizor now. Obviously, I have a Heatran with Hidden Power Grass, but if I go into him, then he's going to know it has Hidden Power Grass. So I'm going to use Scizor and Vaporeon kind of as bait. I'm going to try to wear down the pert that way, and as a last-ditch scenario, I'm going to go into Heatran if necessary. So he's going to go for the Earthquake, and it's going to do pretty decent damage to Vaporeon because he gets a critical hit. So obviously, I don't know what the rest of his team looks like. That really puts a lot of pressure on me. I have to go for the Wish here. And obviously, I want Vaporeon to get the Wish. I also want Scizor to get a Wish as well. And obviously, he knows that I need the Scizor at full health. So he's going to go for the Surf, predicting me to Wish Pass out into him. But I wanted to just see what this Vaporeon was going to do. So I went for the Hidden Power Electric. It does a pretty pitiful amount of damage, but obviously the Hidden Power Electric isn't really meant for Vaporeon to even begin with. And now I'm really worried that he's going to keep on predicting that Scizor to come back in. So I'm going to stay in a turn just to see what he wants to do. Obviously, the longer I stay in, the less likely he is that he's going to use Surf. And it works out pretty nicely. It hits me with a Toxic, which kind of sucks on my end, but I didn't want to keep Vaporeon in for too long anyway. So I'm going to go into Scizor now, because I don't think he's going to go for the Surf, and he actually goes for the Wish. So obviously, the pass to Lucario seems very kind of worries the hell out of me. So he's going to go for the Protect, obviously predicting me to try to kill off that Lucario. I go for the U-turn just in case, but he's able to get Wish back up to full, and obviously I'm locked in a U-turn, so I'm just going to go for it now, and he makes a pretty nice play here. He's actually going to go for another Wish. So obviously this puts me in a tough spot. I figure he's probably going to Wish Pass over to Lucario. If he gets him back up to kind of full health, then Lucario can tear my whole team apart again, really. So it's really a question of what I want to do. I can potentially Earthquake on the turn. I can actually Roar. If I Roar, I can also scout for his team and then see what else he has, because I haven't seen a whole lot of his team yet. So I'm going to opt to go for the Roar, predicting the switch into Lucario, and he stays in Toxics, and I Roar him out into Lucario. So that really came back and bit me on the ass right there, and he's going to get back up to pretty much full health, and I'm in a lot of trouble all of a sudden. I've just created my own worst enemy. I don't think I've taken out anyone really at this point, so I need to get some rocks up now. I know he's not going to leave in his Lucario to die to a Swampert, and he switches into Crazy Frog, and I don't know if it's a speed tie at this point, but he actually outspeeds me, and he's going to go for the Roar, roars me out into Heatran, and this is why I didn't want to go into him immediately. I type in aw crap in the chat room to pretend that I don't have Hidden Power Grass, but I used to play poker against people and I was actually pretty good at it, so I can play a mind game or two, so don't trust me if you guys ever play me in the chat room. So I'm going to go for the Hidden Power Grass here, and he did not think that I had it, so all of a sudden this match is even, 5-5, because I have the Life Orb that's definitely going to take him out, and he's looking, to could be in a whole lot of trouble. He was kind of raging at that point, but I had to play that mind game with him because taking out that Swampert was a really big deal on my end. So I'm going to go for the he's going to go for the close combat, I should say, on my Swampert. And obviously I know that Swampert's not going to take that very, very well, but he's basically a meat shield. I figure he's going to get to -2, and the way he's playing right now, he's probably going to switch out the Lucario. But if he mixes it up and does something other than switch, then I'm in a lot of trouble. I'm going to go into Scizor. I don't want to reveal Flygon just yet, so I'm going to go into Scizor, and I'm going to lock myself into U-turn. If he goes for a close combat here, I'm pretty sure that he probably could have won the match, but he switches out into Vaporeon, predicting a Bullet Punch, and that comes back and hits him really, really hard, because I'm going to hit him with a Choice Banded U-turn. I'm going to take out the Vaporeon. Both of his bulky waters are down, and all of a sudden I have seized all the momentum in the match, really. So I'm going to go into Marty McFly. Obviously, he's Scarf, so I don't know what else he has that might be faster than this guy. If he switches into Porygon 2, I don't think that guy's Scarf, but obviously I do have to fear the Ice Beam on my end, so I'm going to go for the U-turn. And I believe I'm going to U-turn out into Heatran, obviously, predicting that Ice Beam, but he makes a pretty nice play, predicts me to U-turn out, and he just goes for the Thunder Wave. Now, since I'm Life Orb, it's not that big of a deal. Heatran's not particularly fast anyway, and obviously I can threaten him with a Fire Blast. I kind of figure that most Porygon 2s are physically defensive as opposed to specially defensive, so I'm going to go for the Fire Blast, just to scout to see how much damage I can do to him. And he actually switches into Gengar, and that's bad news bears for him, obviously. He was predicting my Explosion. That did not happen. I didn't want to blow up the Heatran because I was at a pretty healthy amount of HP. So in comes Porygon 2, and obviously he traces my Flash Fire. I don't know what other move he has, but I don't think he's going to be able to one-hit KO me from that range, especially if he's defensive. So I'm just going to go Explosion. I didn't even think that he might have Protect or Substitute at that point. That might be a Peekaboo thing, but I go for the Explosion, I take him out, and all of a sudden he is down to his last two guys. I've seized almost complete control of the match, and he's going to switch into Yanmega. I'm going to go into Flygon, obviously, and because Lucario is at pretty low health now, factoring in another turn of Stealth Rock switching, I'm just going to lock myself into Outrage. I could go for the Stone Edge here, but I didn't see the point because that might give Lucario a chance to set up and then potentially win the match for him. So lock myself into Outrage, and that's going to end up being, I don't know what the final score is, but that was a hell of a fun game. Obviously, I thought he had complete control of the match to start, and then some of those predictions towards the end just kind of came back and kind of hit him really, really hard. Obviously, I felt he was moving at one speed the entire game. You know what I mean? Like when you're driving on the freeway and you get caught by a police officer, if you're like driving 85 the whole time, you kind of modulate your speed. Like eventually I was able to telegraph where he was going to go. So that's the only reason why I won, but I thought he played a hell of a game. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Click the like button if you did. Obviously, more Mega Man X LP stuff to come. I got the finale coming up. I think it's a really good video. So obviously I hope you guys stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you another time. Bye.